Hello, Nicole. It's nice to meet you. My name is Kirsten Snyder. I'm a graduate student from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology in Washington, D.C. I do have a supervisor. Her name is Dr. Lilienfeld, and I'll be working really closely with her to provide you with the best care possible. Do you have any questions about any of that before we start anything?
No.
Okay. Today we'll be doing a basic intake interview. I'll just be asking you some questions to get some background and get a clear picture of what's brought you in today. Before we start that, I do want to go over confidentiality. As you are an adult, everything you share is confidential, but there are a couple limitations. So if you indicate to me that you're in imminent risk of harming yourself or someone else, I will have to intervene. This may or may not involve breaking confidentiality. Second, if you alert me to any ongoing abuse of a child, an elder, or any other vulnerable population, I am a mandated reporter, so I will have to report the abuse whether you're involved or not. Then, if you're ever part of any legal proceedings, the court may mandate release of any of your assessment or treatment records, and I will have to give those at that time. Lastly, as I said, I am a graduate student, so everything for me is videotaped, so you see our taping stuff over there. It's all for the purpose of feedback from me, from my supervisor. She and I are the only ones who will see them, and after she provides me feedback, they'll be destroyed, so they won't linger, no one will see any of that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about confidentiality or the limitations?
No.
Okay, so if you're alright with any of that, I do have a form for you to kind of look at and to sign.
Okay.
When you're ready. Any other questions before we get started?
No.
All right, then why don't you tell me a little bit about why you're here today?
So I just have noticed that over the past couple of months, I've just been feeling like not myself, just kind of down, tired, really tired, and just finding it difficult to kind of concentrate on things I used to do.
When you say down, can you kind of describe that for me? Like, just wallowing, or you're just not energetic? I know you said tired.
Definitely not energetic. I don't know. Like, it just feels like nothing's really kind of like exciting anymore. Nothing really feels like fun when I do it. I mean, there are certain things that, like, if I go outside, like, I do feel a bit of relief, but nothing that I'm like, these things go away. I feel like normal. I just feel like this has been good.
And about how long ago would you say this kind of down, tired feeling began?
In July.
In July. Okay. And consistently, would you say it's consistently since July? Like most days, every day that you have this feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then, ever have any moments like this before July?
Yeah, there's a couple times actually. When I was 18.
Same sort of tired feeling, kind of down. Okay. Is there anything aside from feeling tired, and you said lack of concentration? Like it's hard to concentrate. Do you have any moments kind of on the flip side where you're kind of like super hyper, lots of energy, like you feel really good? Any moments like that? No. Okay.
I mean, like, when I drink coffee, I feel like I have more energy, but
nothing where you're, like, way up there, don't really need sleep, just kind of, like, powering through the day?
I need sleep.
Okay. So, related to this, like, do you feel like you, in general, what's a typical night for you?
Like a typical amount of sleep?
Yeah, typical amount of sleep.
Well, I've been sleeping a lot recently, like, so I feel like between, like, a nap that I take in the evening and going to bed, I sleep like 12 hours.
Okay, between the nap and bed. Outside of these periods where you feel kind of down and tired, what would you say your typical sleep period would be?
I could probably get like 8 hours. 8.
And you would feel rested?
Yeah.
Rested?
8 or 9.
Any trouble? You say you sleep a lot. Any trouble falling asleep, staying asleep?
Oh no, I can sleep. I can sleep a lot. Yeah.
Sleep. So there's pretty much nothing wakes you up. It's just kind of.
I mean, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or get some water,
Okay.
but then I can fall right back to sleep.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. And what about your eating when you're in these very kind of tired states? Do you feel like you eat more, eat less?
I feel like it's probably the same. Like I'm
The
eating,
same.
but I think what I'm eating is what's different. So
Okay.
normally I like to eat kind of like very clean and healthy and a lot of salads and grilled chicken, and now I just don't feel like prepping that stuff. I'm like too tired to do it. So now I'm just kind of like, I'll grab lunch at the cafeteria. I've been doing a lot of like grilled cheese, which is like kind of makes me feel full afterwards, and like it's not the healthiest. And my fiance and I have just been doing a lot of like takeout, Uber Eats. So I don't feel like cooking. And
so just a lot of takeout food when you and you used to spend just a normal amount of time prepping meals, like healthy
yeah,
meals
we actually
before?
used to cook a lot together. We would like find these really cool recipes that were healthy, and then we would cook together. And yeah,
And that was typical. Do you enjoy cooking with
I
your
do.
fiance?
Yeah, I do. But it's just a lot of work, and the idea of cutting vegetables right now is
Seems kind of
just
too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So you say you have a fiance.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been engaged?
About a year now.
About a year. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how would you say your relationship with your fiance is?
It's a good relationship. Trusting each other, and like, I mean, no relationship's perfect. Don't get me wrong, but like we have a pretty healthy, communicative relationship. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Has he ever said anything about like the feeling tired and down when like since July? Has he?
Oh, he's definitely
notice?
noticed about me like feeling tired, and just he says that I'm like more lazy than normal. But I don't think he knows like kind of the extent to like what's going on inside.
And you mentioned the extent of what's going on inside. Would you say that that kind of down, tired feeling ever brings you to a point where you think about taking your own life?
Yeah, not now, but in the past, yeah.
Okay, so when you say in the past, any particular age or moment?
When I was 18 and when I was 23. So when I was 18, I just kept thinking there was a lot of like kind of change, and the world would be a better place without me, and if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have to make all these like serious decisions. And yeah.
Okay. When you say serious decisions, what kind of decisions?
Well, I was 18, so I was like in college and like going to classes and having to do like what major do I want to pick? Like I'm 18, I don't know what major I want to pick, and yeah.
So more like decisions about your future,
right?
Or it's like I don't know what
right,
I'm gonna
exactly,
pick.
Yeah. So it was a lot of that, and if I just wasn't around or wasn't here.
Any, thinking along those lines, did you ever attempt to end your life based on those thoughts?
Yeah, there's so when I was 23, kind of something similar happened. I had the thoughts for a bit, but I wasn't like I didn't have like an idea of how I would do it or like a day or any of that. I just kind of had them, and then there was one night where my fiance and I were driving down this quiet road, and we were arguing. I couldn't tell you what we were arguing about, but I just remember feeling so overwhelmed, and just those thoughts were like kind of really pushing through, and thinking like the world would be better without me, and I wouldn't have these fights, and I wouldn't have to make decisions, and I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live like this, and my heart was pounding, and it was like hard to breathe, and so I just opened the door and push myself out of the car.
So you took our soup out and pushed
Yep.
yourself out of the car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember where you were driving around when you kind of jumped out of the car? Like on a highway?
Oh, it was
near
like a
forest?
quiet road. So he wasn't going, like, he was going a decent speed, but it wasn't like 8 miles an hour. Like.
Okay. And what was the result of that? I mean, you're clearly still here with us. But.
I got really scratched up and I had some scrapes, but I didn't break anything. I didn't hit my head, thank God.
Okay.
Although then I wanted to hit my head. And yeah.
So any hospitalization after jumping out of the car, or just kind of the bumps and bruises and scrapes? Okay. So no head trauma. Do you remember at any other point in your life where you may have had any head trauma?
No.
No? No. Okay. That's good. So that's a pretty big thing, jumping out of the car. Aside from that, any other points in your life where you've been hospitalized or had an accident of any kind?
No, not like that.
Not like that. Okay. Kind of a segue here to something a little bit different from what we've kind of been talking about. Do you have any other medical illnesses, taking medications currently or in the past?
I mean, I've taken medications in the past. That was Wellbutrin.
Can you spell that for me?
WELLBUTRIN.
Do you remember the
It was
dosage?
150.
150.
Yeah. But I'm not taking it anymore.
What was that for at the time?
Just the symptoms I was feeling.
Like the down and the tiredness?
Yeah.
And then, but no other medications currently?
Mm-hmm. Or? I take like a multivitamin, and I'm not on that anymore. I stopped that a year ago.
Okay. The Wellbutrin?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in your family have any history of medical illness or mental illness that you know of?
I mean, medical. My dad has a heart disease, and like Alzheimer's runs on my mom's side. My grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's when I was 12, and I don't know about like mental health. I feel like my parents were divorced, so when my mom got divorced from my dad, she was definitely like sad, but I don't know if it was like
anything significant?
Yeah.
Okay. So before their divorce, kind of moving back into your childhood, would you say that it was generally a happy childhood, or?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect. I feel like before the divorce, we like lived in a house, and it was like a nice house, and we would go on like a vacation like once a year, and I mean, like I just remember my parents getting along. And then when I turned 7, I just noticed, or I remember them arguing more. And then around 10, they finally like separated and made an official divorce, and I don't think like I knew how to process it. I knew what divorce was, but I just didn't realize how much it would change everything. And I did, I think, go to therapy during that time.
Okay.
For like 6 months, but I didn't really want to be in it, and I didn't get the purpose of it. And my mom made me go. So at the end of the 6 months, she was like, "You can go if you want, but you don't have to go anymore." And so
you stopped at that point. Okay. And that was when you were 10, shortly after the divorce.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then around that time, around 7 or 8, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I had spent a lot of time with her, and she was like the second caregiver. So we were really close. So even just kind of watching her kind of slip away over time was hard. And then she passed when I was 12.
So aside from being close with your grandmother, would you say you were close to your mom or your dad?
My dad and I have not challenging. He supports me financially and has supported me financially in the past, and that's the extent to our relationship. After my mom and him got divorced, he remarried to this woman that I don't like, and they had 2 kids. So I have half brother and half sister. And after that, I felt like he chose them, and I just really wanted nothing to do with him.
Okay. So you don't really have a relationship with your stepbrother and sister?
No.
Okay. What about your mom?
My mom, so that was like the hard part, is my mom, from like the divorce, she had to work more, so she was always working these like odd late hours, and so from like I'd get home from school, I'd be by myself, so I was like responsible for like making dinner for myself and like doing laundry and being self-sufficient with my homework and kind of getting all those things done for myself that I didn't see a lot of her during the week, and then on the weekends I'd go to my dad's. And so I think more recently I've just had more resentment about that
she wasn't there.
That she wasn't there, and I think at times, like as I got older, she tried to be more of like a friend to me as opposed to my mom. So that's been just kind of source of contention. And then more recently, this is why like we used to be close, but I'm planning for this wedding in July, and she just got really overly invested, or not even invested, just overly controlling about some of the things. And I remember we were like looking at dresses and flowers and stuff like that, and she said something, well, I think you should do this, and I was just like, well, I don't think you should be involved, and I kind of snapped at her, and we haven't talked since. And it's not because she doesn't want to, it's just because I don't want to reach out, and she's, I think, been respectful of that.
What about your birth? Do you remember anything about your birth? Did your mother ever talk about how you were born? Or
I know I was born on my due date.
Born on your due date.
And it was like normal vaginal.
Yeah. And then kind of sticking with your childhood, did your parents ever talk to you about meeting milestones? Did you walk on time, speak on time?
I walked at like 12 months, talked to 12 months. So I think those are like adequate milestones.
And then you touched a little bit on early schooling, but when thinking around like elementary through high school, good grades, hard time, easy time.
I did like A's and B's.
Yeah. Did you enjoy school, or did you find it hard to concentrate in school ever?
I think when all that stuff was going on with like my family, it was harder to concentrate, but I feel like similar to now, like I did what I had to do well, and I did what I had to do to like come out on top.
Okay. What about friend group, kind of back in your early childhood?
My mom always like described me as like a kind of down, like sad kid, and like I like to spend a lot of time like to myself. So I had friends, but like I was always just kind of like I preferred my own time.
So you're not a big social butterfly?
No. I had some friends. I didn't need a lot. I liked my time to myself.
Okay. What about now? What would you say your kind of social situation now is like?
So actually one of my girlfriends from like elementary, middle school is living on the West Coast now. So we keep in touch like through social media and texting. Then I have a couple girls local from like college, and like one girl that I'm extremely close with. She's my best friend, and I get together with her like once a week, and then the other girls I'll probably see like once a month. We do like girls' night.
Okay, that's good. What about you talked about your college years where you're like kind of unsure about what you wanted to do. Still a student, or do you have a job now?
So I have a job now. I'm in medical sales.
Okay. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's a job.
It's a job. Pays the bills.
It's not my dream job, but like there's also room for advancement if I wanted to move up in the company.
How long have you had that job?
Since I was 23.
From 23. Okay. And any sort of spirituality or religion that's been important to you or your family growing up?
Baptized and raised Catholic, but I feel like after my confirmation, I did my first communion. After confirmation, I kind of just like go only for the holidays.
So not really too active in participation. So I just kind of look over my notes for a moment. So I'm going to jump back just a little bit. So during these periods of feeling kind of tired, is there like ever a specific 2-week period where you kind of feel the tired, you feel down, you don't have too much energy, you sleep a lot that 2 weeks, can't concentrate? Ever in like a 2-week span when all these things kind of hit?
Definitely more than like 2 weeks. It's been like 3 months.
Okay. But it definitely, you would say simultaneously, pretty much all the time for more than those 2 weeks.
I mean, I feel those things, but I'm not like not getting out of bed or like not going to work. Like I'm putting up front and getting the things that I need to get done. So.
And then aside from your fiance, has anyone said anything to you about you don't seem to be as active or as kind of lively?
My friends just think that like they're just like, why are you so tired? Like, what are you stressed about? Like, they think it's the wedding, but I think it's more than the wedding.
You personally think it's more than
This is the first time this has happened.
Okay. So since you feel like it's definitely more than the wedding, is there anything that might stand out to you as like maybe a trigger for what's kind of brought you into this down, tired state, or do you think it just kind of popped up around July?
I think it's, I don't know, I just feel like I was making a lot of decisions about the wedding, and I feel like it's a lot of like stress thinking about money and how much we're spending and all that goes into it, and no one tells you about a wedding and how expensive it's going to be, or tells you how many things there are to like think about.
Right, so it's hidden fees and stuff that you don't know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. So I just think even that kind of blindsided me in a way. Okay,
so just kind of overwhelmed by all that, and then ended up kind of feeling down and tired.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned drinking coffee, but any alcohol? Do you ever drink alcohol?
Oh yeah, but like I drink like a normal amount.
Okay. What is a normal amount for you?
So like 2 to 3 times a week, and like I'll split a bottle of wine with my fiance on the couch, or like still do that like a couple times a week, and then like if we go out to dinner, I'll have like 3 or 4 drinks.
Okay. And then aside from alcohol, you said you were on the Wellbutrin, but you stopped that a year ago. Okay. Any other substances?
No, like pot,
cocaine, anything else that wouldn't be like over the counter? Okay.
I take like a multivitamin. I don't know if I said that, but
yeah, I did catch that. And do you take that pretty regularly? Every day? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing.
Well, because it has like B12 in it. I feel like that might help a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you might need the vitamin with, like, kind of doing more of the eating out nowadays?
No, I haven't thought about that.
Haven't connected that
like,
at all?
It's been something I've been doing since like I was 23.
Of course, it's just part of daily routine now.
Exactly.
Okay. Are there ever any moments where you hear or see things that you don't think anyone else hears or sees? Mm-hmm. Nothing? Okay. It's like nothing, having that thought, kind of going back a little bit to when you just kind of opened the door in the car and jumped out. nothing kind of telling you to jump out of the car. Just, oh, this would be kind of easy.
Yeah, it's just this is your way out.
Gotcha. So, kind of thinking along the lines of everything we've covered, is there anything you think might be important for me to know?
Like what?
Like, in your relationship with your fiance, you said that he knows kind of that you've been feeling down and tired, and he's seen that, but you don't think he knows how deep it runs. Would you ever consider kind of looping him in on how deep you think it goes?
I mean, if things got worse, maybe, but I just feel like he doesn't even know I'm here right now, and I just don't want to worry about him. I don't want him to worry about me. That's kind of like the consensus of everyone. Like, I don't want people checking up or being concerned.
Okay. And is there anything that could happen that you feel would make it worse? Or perhaps you said you don't have those ideas. If it'd be better if you weren't here to kind of impose on people, I suppose. Anything that you feel right now would kind of bring those thoughts back?
I mean, if I lost everything, my fiance left, I got fired from my job, couldn't afford to pay for my apartment, that probably wouldn't want to live.
Probably would take you back there.
There's a lot to live for right now.
That's good. That's good. Trying to think kind of where there may be some other parts of like your background that may help me kind of get a better picture of where everything's going.
I think in college I didn't always make like the best decisions.
How so?
I don't know, like I drank more in college, and I don't know, I just think I was more impulsive and did things without thinking of like the ramifications of it.
Okay. Can you think of like a specific instance where you acted impulsively without kind of thinking of consequences?
So I used to like go out a couple times a week, more than a couple times a week, and I would get drunk, and then there were a couple times where I brought back guys to my place, and they were guys I didn't know, and one incident in particular keeps kind of like sticking out. I haven't ever told anyone. Like, I didn't even tell my other therapist about this. But I brought this guy back, and we were hooking up, making out, and it, like, I just wasn't into it anymore, and I told him I wasn't into it, and I, like, wanted to stop, and I tried to push him off, and he just, like, kind of kept going, and we had sex, and I didn't want to have sex with him. So, and I mean, like, it wasn't rape or anything, because, like, I invited him back, and, like, I was drunk, and I initiated the hookup, so, yeah, but it has not, I don't know, it's just, I think, been bothering me more lately.
Okay. So, aside from that guy and your fiance, have there been any other significant relationships in your life?
Like, I've dated here and there.
But no one that other than those two that just kind of stick out to you?
I mean, I wouldn't call that a relationship.
Aside from the fact that it's just a very...
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, everything else was, I think, pretty healthy.
So your fiance is pretty much, in terms of romantic relationships...
I mean, like I said, I dated like a couple months here and there, like different boyfriends, but he's been like the longest relationship.
Okay. And then you said the other ones, the here and there dating were just typically healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. So aside from that one instance that stands out in college, any other moments where you felt you were acting impulsively at any other point in your life? No, just kind of like that one time period.
And I mean, that was the last time. After that, I laid off the booze a little bit and just kind of like, I didn't want to tell anyone because if I told someone, then it would be real. So if I just pretended it didn't happen, then it didn't happen.
Okay.
I feel like if I'm getting kind of treatment now, and I've gotten treatment in the past, that I should probably address this.
Right. This is a very healthy thing to think. So, you say you didn't really pursue that but any other legal proceedings in the past? So you're drinking in college. Any DUIs or anything like that? No. And no problem with police?
No.
In the past or currently? Just kind of look over my notes here. For your activities, kind of jumping way back to the beginning. You said sometimes when you go outside, you feel like a little bit better, not extremely so.
Right.
Do you typically enjoy spending time in nature?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that definitely, being by water definitely improves my mood.
By the water specifically?
Yeah, but not for the whole day. Like maybe for like the 30 minutes to an hour that we're there, it's definitely better, but not like perfect. But yeah, my fiance loves to camp.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite activity, but I love spending time with him. So we'll do a lot of hiking and then camping on the weekends, especially in the fall weather now. So I guess like that's where I feel like he notices something's off because like I just want to sleep late on the weekends when we're like home, and then when we're camping, it's even like I just want to sleep and
pretty much the whole time you're there.
Not the whole time, but like it's just like activating. I feel like getting like started. So like if he says he wants to camp like on a Saturday morning, let's go camping today. It's thinking like, oh, we have to pack, and what are we gonna wear, and do I have like clean laundry, and I have to get a sweatshirt. Like it's just thinking that far ahead that becomes exhausting.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. And then, so when you're camping, you mentioned like being around the water. Is it any type of water, or like lakes or rivers?
Rivers, yeah.
So pretty much kind of a general out in nature. Okay. Do you, other than when you go camping with him, do you ever just kind of take a walk outside?
Yeah. Like I'll go to the farmer's market, like one of my friends. Like a Saturday morning. It's like another thing I enjoy. I haven't done it in a while. But yeah.
When was the last time that you remember going to the farmer's market?
It's not the fall. It's probably like July sometime.
So kind of like around the time you started thinking about the wedding. Yeah. Was July when you got engaged?
I got engaged a year ago.
Okay. How long were you with your fiance before you got engaged? If you remember.
When I was 23. So I was 23. Yeah.
Okay.
We had like
so
met
for a while.
Yeah, we had met through friends in college. College was like ending, and yeah, we were introduced and just kind of clicked and worked. And
it's good to kind of have an idea about that. Yes. Okay. So now that I've kind of reviewed my notes again, this is why we write notes. They're very important for us. When you were 18, you said that was another time, 18, 23, were the other two times we kind of felt this down, tired feeling. When you were 18, approximately, how long would you say that feeling kind of lasted for?
1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years after you turned, so
kind
of from 18 to 20?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had a break, 21,
like
22? Or
did
you
just feel like it kind of like, no, I mean, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I guess it wasn't as like low as I'm feeling now. Like it kind of improved.
Okay. In between kind of 20 and 23?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when you were 23, how long would you say approximately? Do you think that
6
one lasted?
months. That's when I started.
6 months?
Yeah, I was in therapy for that year. And
gotcha. So like 6 months up to when you went to therapy, or you had the therapy?
I think, like, I've been feeling like this for like 3 months, and then that incident happened, and then like 3 months of like therapy and meds. I feel like
Okay. When you say that incident,
the car.
okay. So kind of 3 months been down, and then jumped out of the car, and then the 3 months after that was.
I feel like I started meds, and I was in therapy and working on like coping skills and.
Okay, so therapy. You've been to therapy before, just once or twice?
When I was 10, I did like a 6-month stint, and then when I was 23.
Again, for about how long?
A year.
About a year. Okay, so that year of 23. Gotcha. So that's the 3 months. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this time in here. Kind of you turned 23, and there's like 3 months where you started feeling down, and then there was the car incident, and then you went into therapy for like basically the rest of that year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did that go past like into your 24th year?
Yeah.
Okay. So just basically like a year's time spent from them.
Yeah.
And they had you on the Wellbutrin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for that. And you stopped that a year ago. I can't remember if you told me a particular reason why you stopped.
I was like feeling better. My symptoms like had decreased, and I was happy. I just got engaged. Like I didn't need to be on them anymore. I stopped seeing the psychiatrist, and so instead of refilling it, I just stopped. Taking it.
Okay. Do you think kind of now you're back in another, let's say, bad place, but kind of feeling that down and tired again? Do you think if you went back on the Wellbutrin, you may kind of get back to that state?
I mean, I'd be open to it. I feel like sucks saying that I need meds to feel better, but I wouldn't say no. You know, I feel like before things get worse, I want to improve them. So is there anything else along the lines of, what kind of symptoms is we could say you're feeling now, aside from just feeling down and tired and like needing to sleep with lots of concentration? Anything else along those lines? It's just like hard to concentrate. It's hard to be like motivated.
Do you ever feel kind of like restless, like kind of fidgety, or just kind of like I got heavy limbs and I can't
feel
move
like
them?
lead. Like the majority of the time, I feel like I'm just like lead walking through water. Everything's just so tired.
So just kind of like literally feel like you're pushing through the motions of life.
It takes a lot to get out of bed every morning.
Okay. And then, so last kind of thing, walk me through like a typical day for you now. Just kind of currently, what's a typical day for you? You get up and...
like, so if I have to leave like the house around like 8:30, 8:35, I'll get up at like 8:15 or 8:19, and then I'm like throwing things together. I'm doing the bare minimum to get ready, like my hair is up, brushing my teeth, and just throwing on whatever is clean.
So anyway, you can kind of cut a corner and save time.
Yeah, because and my fiance leaves around 7:30, so he doesn't even know how like.
Okay. So he's gone before you've even started getting up.
Yeah, how like crazy the mornings are. And then I kind of go to work. I get home around like 4:35. My fiance won't be home till like 6, so I just like chill on the couch and take a nap, watching Netflix, whatever's on. It's not so much about the TV. It's just about like relaxing on the couch and falling asleep. And then
those naps, hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like encompassing the 12 hours is like
right, just kind of included in there.
So I'll sleep for a little bit, and he wakes me up and like, what are you doing? Why are you so tired? Like, and then I'm always like, let's order dinner, or let's go out, let's do takeout, let's do Uber Eats, and he's like, why don't we cook something? And then I usually kind of win.
Okay, but he offers to cook with you,
He
before?
likes cooking together, and he likes eating healthy. But then I'm just like, oh, it's so much work. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock right now. By the time we eat, he's like, okay, fine. And I think he just doesn't want to.
So he kind of bends
Mhm.
because he doesn't want to argue.
Right. And so then, depending on the night, either we'll just chill on the couch and watch a movie, or chill on the couch, bottle wine, or sometimes I'm like, I'm exhausted, I'm going to bed.
So, kind of a little theme that I've noticed is that you like to be sitting a lot. I assume mostly because you feel like you're full of lead and kind of walking through water. Do you feel like you need to sit down most of the day, or have you ever noticed that?
I definitely was more active before this. Like, I love to run. I go to the gym or run either 4 times a week. So I think when I'm not feeling like this, no. But when I am feeling like this, yeah, absolutely. I just want to sit.
And then I'm not familiar with medical sales, but is that a job where you're on your feet a lot, or where
I'm like
you
making
can sit?
phone calls.
Making
and,
phone calls, so
on
pretty
the computer, yeah.
pretty much sitting all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Occasionally we'll go to places to pitch, but I haven't had to do it recently. And thank God for that, because that just seems like a lot of work.
What about your coworkers? Do you would you say you have a relationship with them? Don't have a relationship?
I mean, it's very polite and kind of superficial, but they know I'm engaged. They know I'm the young person in the office, but they don't know about any of this. They just think I'm tired and stressed from the wedding planning.
So you don't really tend to hang out with coworkers very much.
I mean, we'll do a happy hour here and there, but it's not I'm not inviting them over to my house.
Right. So typically, when you go out with people, it's either your fiance for dinner or something like that, and then I know you mentioned every once in a while you go out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things will you do with your friends when you go out?
We'll either go to a bar, go grab drinks. Sometimes we go watch live music. If we're hanging out with my fiance and his friends, we'll watch a sports game. Sometimes we'll go camping. All of us will just
a group.
Yeah,
camping.
group camping.
Okay.
And then sometimes the girls and I will go on a hike without the guys.
Is anything else that you can think of that kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about that you feel you want to add? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for offering up all of this information. I'll consult with my supervisor and we'll see what we can come up with to hopefully kind of help pull you out of this down, tired feeling. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Ooh, these chairs.